Okay, I am recording. I'm really bad about recording. I always forget. Hi, Keichun. It's so good to see you. Are you in your car? Oops, wait, she's muted. You're in your,
There I am. Sorry. Yes, I am in my car. Hello, everyone.
Hi. So most everybody's muted, so they can't really say hi, but they can say hi in the chat. So, but let's take a minute to introduce Keichun, because as I said in the group today, she is my corporate mentor, and I am so blessed to have met her and have her in my life. She is amazing. And for those of you who haven't had the opportunity yet to have a corporate mentor, I just have to say they are a rock star team that we have, and our Southeast, I don't know where you all live, everybody's all over the country, but I feel very fortunate to live in Virginia and have really great people on our team at corporate. And so, you know, these are really rock star people that really make you up your game. And so Keichun does not let me get away with anything, and she holds me accountable every week. And she is gonna like instill this energy in you. She's like really a high energy person, so be prepared. And I can't be more excited. And I also want to thank her so much because she is taking time. She's 2 hours earlier, so it's after her work there in Utah. She is in our sales office in Provo. And is it snowing there still?
It is actually not snowing. It was rather cold this weekend, but today it's nice enough for me to have my arms out.
Short sleeves, yeah, that's great. So thank you so much. The team, we're talking this week about the leadership ladder, and the wake up call was really appropriate to set just set the table, so to speak. So I don't really know how much everybody knows about it or not, but I hope they know something.
Me too. Now, Lori, do you want me to jump in?
Sure, take it away.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that warm introduction. You know how I feel about you. I absolutely adore Lori. I think that you guys are in great hands with her. I think she's doing this for a great reason with the big heart. Just doing it all the right reasons, and really tries to do the best for you guys as far as the proper resources and trainings, and just love her, and of course love you guys too, not your average army, and any friends that we may have on. So
I also want to give credit to Hannah and Liz and Catherine, who we are all playing equal roles in this Rank in the Bank group. It's awesome. So we're really having a great time in this group. So
that is so cool, guys. I just want to this is not at all what I wanted to talk about, but that actually does not happen very often, where you have leaders so in tune with helping you achieve your goals that they're willing to connect and pair with other leaders to put their resources together, to put their best practices together, to ensure you literally have the best. That does not happen. I'm blown away. I'm blown away by the team that you're on. I'm blown away by you guys and your dedication for being here too. So enough of the love fest. I love her. I love you guys. And it definitely didn't even thought didn't even come in my mind thinking that it was 7 o'clock until she mentioned that it was after work hours. So thank you for that introduction. I am Keichun Graves. I am your Southeast Region Manager. I work with the 2 through 5 star diamonds, and I help with goal setting and accountability. Also facilitating mastermind meetings. I work with an amazing team, like Lori mentioned. So if you're not in the Southeast region, across the United States and in Canada, we have a corporate support for you once you hit that diamond rank. So if you're diamond and you haven't gotten there, go to the FAQ and type in sales team so you can get the information for your exact state. And if you're not diamond yet, get to diamond, and then you'll be getting an invitation to join them. So once you get to diamond, that's actually when you start getting your corporate support. So that's a little bit about me. Tonight, though, I am going to talk about the leadership ladder. And like Lori mentioned, I hope you came with some knowledge. This is something that you guys are talking about in your rank in the bank group. This is something that was talked about on the wake up call this morning. This is something that really as leaders, if you don't know it, you should definitely make time immediately to know it, because I think that once you'll understand by the end of my call is that it's not focusing on anything that you're not focusing on already. Okay, so tonight I'm going to talk about having a champion mindset. And in this call, again, I think that you guys are all dedicated. You've made that commitment to being here. So I'm going to assume that you've also made that commitment to achieving your next benchmark in your business, right? You guys are in this group, this Rank in the Bank group. So that leads me to believe that you have what it takes to be champions. And so I'm just going to gut check that mindset. All right. So here is a fun fact about a baseball genius, Roger Clemens. Roger Clemens, he was a top 50 baseball player of all time. He was one of only 9 to score more than 1,000 strikeouts. He spent a quarter of a century playing in the major leagues. A true champion, right? You know that the Major League Baseball, they have the longest season of any professional sport. A champion who once said, anything is possible if you have the mindset and the will and then the desire to do it and put the time in. So let's gut check your champion mindset and get started. So a fun fact about me is that I've been a runner my entire life. Since I could walk, I ran. I was in summer running clubs. And by the time I was 11, I was running year round, literally year round, cross country, indoor track, outdoor track, all year long. And there was one thing that became known as my thing, the Keichun. And it was the way that I'd finish my races. And it started a long time ago, way back when I was running the mile race. And that's 4 laps around the track. And I had led the entire race. And then something happened. Something game-changing happened. Going into that first turn on that 3rd lap, I hit a wall. And I mean, I slammed into that wall. But I still managed to lead this race that was growing smaller by the millisecond at that point. And the girl who was behind me, she knew I was dying. I was giving her all the signs that I was dying. And then she caught me. And she caught me right before the start of the last lap with about 450 meters left to go. Now, does anyone run? Is anyone into track? If you know anything about track, you know that you typically right there at that line, that mark of the last lap, that's where you typically have your coach and your team. That's the opening of the stands, and they're all sitting there yelling at you, cheering you on to go, but they're there. And as soon as she passed me in front of the entire crowd and my team, I immediately looked at my coach and I made eye contact as her team went wild. Mind you, I led the entire race, and I read my coach's lips and they said, "You better go." And then I heard my mother from way up in the bleachers, who yelled at me, "Keichun, you better not let that girl beat you." She absolutely was that crazy mom who'd be running laps with you, but neither here nor there. I love you, Mom. I heard them though, and I didn't want her to win. I had big goals, and I believed in me. And so with 200 meters left in the race, just 250 meters ago, she had passed me in front of the entire crowd. With 200 meters left in the race, I leaned in. And I leaned hard, and I leaned on this training that my coach told me to do when you're sprinting in hard on those last 200 meters. He told me in training to lean in and to lean hard. And at that point, she'd already gained about 15 to 20 meters on me. But I kicked it in like I never had before. Like I was actually running a 200-meter race. I had completely forgotten about the rock that I had just slammed into. I completely forgotten about how embarrassed I was when she passed me in front of my entire team, her entire team, and the entire crowd. But I believed in me, and I wanted the title more than I cared about the pain. Because, y'all, I was in pain. And if I died, because guys, that was actually a legitimate concern in my mind. Oh my gosh, I'm literally giving this baby all that I can. I may actually die. I knew that I would have left it all on the field. So despite that wall I had just hit 500 meters ago, I kicked it into a gear that I never even knew existed in my body. And with my blood mixing with my sweat and my tears turning into fuel, I propelled in that race and I actually won. And I didn't die. I live here to tell you about it. So from there on, no matter what race, no matter where I was in the race, whether it be first place or last, which didn't happen very often, I kicked in. And I kicked it in so strong and so powerful that it left people in awe. It left me in awe. I left it on the field every single time. It took that one time to know you won't die for me to leave it all on the field. And why? Because even as that kid running that mile, running those 4 laps around the track way back when, I had big plans to go to college. And that had been embedded in my mind since I could speak. My mother would tell me, if you want to go to college, you need to be able to run fast because we can't afford it. And that's truly what I believed. I didn't know any better. And so I had no other choice but to believe in me, but to mix the blood, sweat, and tears in order for me to achieve my goal. So what do I want you to take away from this story about leaving it all on the field? I have 2 takeaways for you. The first is to set yourself up to be in the position to move positively toward the attainment of your goal. Side note, also knowing that there are no shortcuts and that people are watching. But that's a side note. The big takeaway is set yourself up in the position to move positively towards the attainment of your goal. That's actually a DeWitt Jones quote. I don't want to take credit for it. He was our summit speaker last year. But I love it because it makes so much sense. And that's exactly what the leadership ladder does. So I get coaches all the time who ask, how do I know if I'm doing well in this business? And guys, one great way to determine how you're doing at certain benchmarks in this business is to set yourself up for ultimate success because of the strong foundation that you build in the leadership ladder. So again, that coincides with what you guys are discussing this week. That's exactly what we discussed today on the wake up call. If you didn't listen to it, Christina Delgado brought it. And that's something that you are leaders at this point. And that's something that you guys need to be familiar with if you're not. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this call, if you're not familiar with it, don't beat yourself up, but go get familiar with it. Go do the necessary trainings. Go learn it, know it, love it. And so I'm not going to go into very much details because you guys are leaders. You guys will learn all the nitty gritty details of the leadership ladder. But if you have big goals for yourself and your team, you're going to have to start meeting those leadership ladder benchmarks, and you're going to have to start encouraging your team to do the same. So Lori told me that the people on this call are pushing for diamond. And a reason that I want you all to begin to think bigger than diamond by focusing on the leadership ladders, because focusing on the rungs to achieve team leader, for instance, means that you've created the stability and are setting yourself up to be duplicated. Because like I mentioned, you want to put yourself in the place of highest potential, but also people are watching. And we want them to. So coach ranks provide that basic framework, and the leadership ladder goes beyond that and creates the stability and growth to better position yourself and your team to achieve the goals you all have set to accomplish. And the benchmarks are no different than those required to achieve various ranks. However, the intensity of how you apply that knowledge and engage in those activities will help you all better achieve the leadership ladder benchmarks. So I'm going to take a step back, and I guess, going to get a little bit more detailed. The leadership ladder benchmarks for team builder. You guys know this. What are they? Okay, we're all muted, so I'll say them. Emerald or Ruby, you want to be earning $250 per month. Success Club 5 consistently, helping at least 2 of your personally sponsored coaches help at least 1 person in the month. And you have 200 week leg volume. So that means that you're adding at least 3 people with the new challenge pack to your challenge group every month with 200 week leg volume. If you're near diamond and you haven't met the benchmarks for team builder, That first one, it's okay. I don't want you guys to beat yourself up. But remember that those benchmarks are there to keep you on track. And it's never too late to continue to focus on those activities to build that stability. So set to achieve that benchmark though ASAP. I mean ASAP. And by ASAP, I mean by the end of this month. If you are not team builder, you should be team builder. But I'm going to assume that most of you guys are beyond team builder. So I'm going to talk about the benchmarks for team leader. And this is where I want you all to live by Summit. I said it. I'm not here to create goals for you, but I'm going to challenge you guys. I want to see who lives up to. I want to see who does it. So, but that's it's you. I want it to be your goal, but I'm going to throw that challenge out. Okay, I want you to live team leader. So this is the benchmarks for that. Diamond, $1,000 a month. Success Club 5, at least 4 person sponsored coaches helping one person, and 5,000 on that week leg team volume. So let me break it down. Why do we want to focus on rank? Well, the rank benchmarks mean bonuses and cycle potential. And when I say cycle potential, I mean cycle potential, but I also mean the higher that you go in the rank, the more cycle potential you can earn, meeting certain qualifications for elite and premier and leadership conference, and the leadership conference that's happening at the end of this year, and for recognition at events like Summit. And there's so many other reasons to focus on rank, but those are some of the most important. Why do we focus on Success Club? Well, no matter what your goals are, Success Club has proven to be a great tracking system for you to track towards whatever your goals are, whether they be rank, bank, just helping people. Use Success Club as your tracking. And hitting it not only keeps you consistent with the number of people you're helping per month, it also keeps you consistent with your earnings and grants you access to exclusive training and travel opportunities, and also recognition tool. This month, Brian Tracy is our Success Club webinar. I think that that's so cool. And we have another leadership guru who's going to be speaking for our Success Club prize next month that I can't tell you about, but I just dropped you a hint. So get there. But also,
and we got an apron for last month.
And we got an apron for, see? Yes, lots of cool stuff. But you know what's also really cool? Leads. Oh my gosh. This company gives you leads when you make the outward commitment to helping 5 people. It's the only company I know that does that. And it's a recognition tool and ultimately a way, like I just said, to make that outward commitment and loud commitment to say, I'm helping people and I'm shooting to help at least 3 people. No, I am helping at least 3 people every month. Count on me to be a true life changer. Those are just a few reasons I think it's important to focus on Success Club. Why do we put the focus on volume? Well, for everything that we just talked about. And also volume translates to income and cycle bonus. And income is a big why for us. And this is a business. And so we do want to earn. We do want to earn in our business. That's one of those things that Beachbody coaches don't like to talk about. All right. So focus and develop yourself and then develop your team and duplicate on all of them. Why put the focus on building your team? Well, in the pursuit of achieving your goals, the best way to help others, the best way to achieve your goals is to help others achieve theirs. And that's what Team Beachbody is all about. That's another reason why I just love this company. People are so willing to share tips and best practices and connect resources in order to ensure that goals are being met and people are achieving their goals. That's what this business is about. Helping others to live healthy and fulfilling lives. So be sure that you're duplicating your successful behaviors. Because like the quote says, go alone if you want to go fast, but go together if you want to go far. And this is a forever business. And it does depend on your tribe and the mindset of your tribe. And so using that leadership ladder as a benchmark is a great way to instill a champion mindset on your team. Why wouldn't you want to focus on the leadership ladder if your goal is to build a team of life changers? Side note, be sure that you're building your team and not just working with the coaches who are currently on your team. As leaders and as you evolve into your leadership, this becomes really important to keep your pipeline full. And here's a fun gauge for you. At Diamond, you should spend around and I should probably rephrase it. Some of the coaches that I work with would say at the diamond rank, you would want to spend around 80% of your day on your business and keeping your pipeline full. So that's hitting Success Club and doing your personal invites and your challenge group and your Facebook social media pages, etc. And 20% on your team, your trainings, your one-on-one, your team calls, etc. And then also be sure that it's their goal. As you're working with the willing and the doing, you want to make sure that it's their goal that you're helping them achieve. Because when you begin to push your goals on others, you really lose their best interest. And that's when they begin to digress. And that's when you begin to fall short of achieving your goals. So focus on and develop yourself and then duplicate. But be sure it's a team goal and not just your goal. And then, well, I won't say that. So remember, and this first tip that I want you to remember from my story is to set yourself up to be in the position to move positively toward the attainment of your goal. And then the side note was knowing that people are watching and there are no shortcuts. The second thing then that I want you to take away from my story is to lean in, to finish strong, lean on your training, lean on all this stuff, but then go actually do it. You know, my coach told me in my training to lean hard when you're kicking in strong. And then I did it. And I want you to do the same. Know it, do it. So I want you all, we talk about years from summit to summit. I don't know if you guys knew that. But we do have our end of the year December push, of course. That's when qualifications are ending for Elite and Premier, etc. But when Carl is talking about from year to year, he's talking about from summit to summit. So what is your summit goal? Most of the leaders that I work with have a summit goal that they set either last summit or that they set last year at the end of last year. But I want you all to finish this trek that we're in to summit strong. Like I finished my race strong. I want you to leave nothing on the field as you work towards being the person, the leader, the teams that you desire. Get invited to that leadership ladder party at Summit if you're 2-star. That FAQ is $15.93 if you don't know what I'm talking about. But you know what? I think that we also often think that the end and the beginning of the year is the time that we need to really go back and remember our goals and revisit our why. But you know what, guys? I think that this is the time of year that we need to remember our goals and remember that why. And this is also the time of year where excuses may begin to come up. Kids are on break. Holidays are coming up. People are traveling on vacations. You name it, it can be an excuse. But I want you all on this call to move beyond those excuses. To move beyond those excuses that you have, that you've told yourself it's life. And to move beyond those excuses that your coaches give. To move beyond the excuses that your prospects give. Because that's what champs do. That's what leaders do. That's what people on a mission to achieve their goals do. They keep going. They leave nothing on the field, controlling the controllable, leaning on their training, and then being flexible and adapting to the change of speed. Maybe you have to dig deeper to achieve goals that come easier in other months. It's okay. Champions adapt because our goals don't change with the time of year. So what can you all do as we're leaving this call, as you're leaving your rank in the bank group? Dial in your behaviors. Stay laser focused on those business producing activities. Don't let noise interfere with your progress. And then remember that whatever you focus on is what your team is going to focus on. So set them up for the ultimate success. And that's by focusing on those leadership ladder benchmarks. And it starts with you. So remember what Roger Clemens said: anything is possible if you have the mindset and will, and then the desire to put the time in. So guys, I want to leave you with this. Our top coaches are absolutely positively. I'm scrolling over and I'm looking at all your faces. And while I don't know you personally, maybe not all of you, I see some familiar faces. Hey Liz, while I don't know you guys personally, I can tell you this: our top coaches are no different than you. Our top coaches look no different than you. They're moms and wives and husbands, and some have no kids, some have a million kids, some have a college education, some have never been into college, some have never had any type of elevated education, some whatever your situation is, there's someone that you can relate to as a top coach. So what makes them different? Nothing makes them different besides maybe the fact that they are leaving it all on the field. So I challenge you all to turn up that intensity and to kick it into a gear that you never even knew existed, into a gear that's going to propel you to becoming who you said that you wanted to become. Not myself, not Lori, not Liz, not the other leaders who may have invited you to this call, but who you said you desire to become. I challenge you to kick up the intensity to become that person. Because what I know is that it can be done. It has been done before. And that's what champions do. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this call, you must be champions because you're on here. So leaders, you got this. You can do this. I believe in you. Team Leader by Summit. Do we have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what the thinking was behind corporate when they developed the leadership ladder?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to what I mentioned. It's not anything different than what you're already focusing on by focusing on rank solely or focusing on your income solely or focusing on Success Club solely. But by creating these benchmarks, we can, one, tell you how you're doing as you're progressing in your business. Two, we can give you a strong, solid foundation to have built your business on. And three, it's going to keep you around, right? I don't know about you guys, but I'm more likely to stay around if I am on this solid foundation as opposed to if I'm kind of shaky, kind of in and out. I have these big goals, but I'm not right. It gives you that confidence to know I am doing this right and I am changing lives. It's that outward commitment. So those were some of our thoughts that went behind it. We wanted to give you that foundation. We wanted to give you actual benchmarks so that you can say, this is where I quote unquote should be as at this point in my business, and this is where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And I'm excelling.
Right.
Try to leave it on a positive note.
Yeah, I like it because it's just, I feel like you can get to diamond, but it's kind of like a house of straw. Mm-hmm. Versus like if you look in the leadership ladder and you're a diamond and you're a team builder, you know, it's your foundation of your house of bricks. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Solid foundation. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's volume. That's saying that you're growing leaders and finding people who are like you, and collectively you guys are outwardly making the commitment to change lives. I just love what the leadership ladder embodies. Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Anybody have questions? I agree tonight.
Well, let me tell you this. If you guys need anything, like I mentioned, I am here for you guys. I adore Lori and the leaders here who have put this together. So if you have any questions, if you're shy right now and you think of, or you can't think about it right now, feel free to message me on Facebook and I'll get back to you. I'm the only Keichun Graves on Facebook. It's one of my claims to fame.
I think they're just thankful they don't have an assignment, because last week was story. We had to come up with stories, and it was a big, heavy, like gut-wrenching week of like figuring out what our story was and how to kind of put that out on paper. And
well, let me ask this: if before I get out of here, how many team, by the show of hand, who's reached the team builder benchmark? I'm just scrolling over really quick. Keep your hands up if you've reached team builder or beyond. Okay, so I actually, she has laryngitis. I hope you feel better. Okay, so I see quite a few hands for team builder, but I actually don't see enough. So that is my first homework assignment. Do you guys remember what those benchmarks were for team builder? That's Emerald Ruby, $250 this month. Success Club 5 this month. helping 2 of your person sponsored coaches earn at least 1 Success Club point and 200 week leg volume. If you need strategies behind those things, manage up. But I encourage you guys to get Team Builder by the end of this. Team Builder by the end of this month. Is that a good goal, Lori?
Yeah, and I loved that Christina said that she doesn't even recognize for anything but Leadership Ladder anymore on her team page. So I thought that was really kind of recognizing where you should recognize.
Absolutely.
That growth. So.
And whatever you focus on is what your team is going to focus on. So that's why you do want to focus on something that's going to create stability for them towards achieving their goals.
Right.
I think we can get some team leaders here. Oh, now, I definitely want you guys to shoot for team leader. But for those who have not met the team builder benchmark, get there for sure by the end of this month. Team leader, I'm looking at everyone in their eyes.
Team leader's a tough one. It's hard to get 4 people getting Success Club points, but you can do it. You just, you need to, that's why duplication is important. Teaching your team how to, and sharing what you know works. So, yep.
All right. Any other questions, guys, before I get out of here? This is a quiet group.
Thank you for, I think, well, they're all muted too, so maybe I should.
Okay. Well, like I said, the invitation's out there for Facebook.
All right. Thank you, Keichun. I so appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.